The theater lights dim slowly, one by one, until the massive America's Got Talent stage glows like a distant galaxy. The crowd buzzes with excitement, unaware that they are about to witness a moment that will be remembered for years. Then, from the side of the stage, a small figure appears. He is only 10 years old, barely tall enough to reach the microphone comfortably. The young Filipino boy takes hesitant steps forward. His shoes look slightly worn. His outfit is neat but simple, clearly not chosen to impress, but chosen with care. His shoulders are narrow, his posture modest, and his hands grip the microphone as if it's the only solid thing in a world that suddenly feels far too big. The audience quiets. From the judges' table, Simon Cowell studies the boy closely. He has seen thousands of contestants, singers, prodigies, dreamers. But something about this child is different. Not confidence, not swagger, something gentler, something fragile. "Hello," one of the judges says kindly. "What's your name?" The boy swallows, takes a breath, and answers softly. His accent reveals his roots instantly. He introduces himself as being from the Philippines, his voice barely rising above a whisper, yet steady enough to show courage. "And how old are you?" another judge asks. 10 years old, he replies. A wave of murmurs moves through the crowd. 10 is young, very young, for this stage. Simon leans forward. "So, why did you come to America's Got Talent?" The boy pauses. His eyes flicker toward the audience, then back to the judges. For a moment, it looks like he might cry, but he doesn't. Instead, he speaks from a place far deeper than confidence. He speaks from truth. "I want to help my family," he says quietly, "and singing is my dream." That single sentence lands heavily in the room. The judges exchange looks. The audience listens more closely now. "Tell us about your family," a judge gently encourages. The boy nods. He explains that he comes from a poor family. His parents work hard, but life has never been easy. Some days there wasn't enough money. Some nights the future felt uncertain. Yet through all of it, music became his escape. He didn't grow up with professional lessons. He didn't have a piano at home. He didn't have a music teacher guiding him. Instead, he learned by listening. Old opera recordings, classical music played on borrowed devices, videos watched again and again whenever he could access the internet. While other children played games, he memorized melodies in a language he barely understood, but deeply felt. The audience is silent now. Simon raises an eyebrow. "Opera?" he asks, clearly surprised. "Yes, sir," the boy replies respectfully. That single word, opera, changes the energy instantly. Opera is rare on this stage. Opera is demanding. Opera is something even adults struggle to master. And here stands a 10-year-old boy from the Philippines, claiming opera as his calling. Some people in the audience smile politely, unsure. Others look skeptical. A few whisper, wondering if this is too much for a child. Simon's expression is unreadable. "Why opera?" Simon asks. The boy's answer is simple, but powerful. "When I sing opera," he says, "I feel strong. I feel like my voice can go anywhere, even when my life cannot." A few audience members wipe their eyes. The boy shifts his weight slightly, nerves finally visible. His fingers tremble around the microphone. The stage lights shine down on him, hotter now, brighter. He takes another breath. Despite his fear, he stands tall. This stage is larger than any place he has ever been. The audience is louder than anything he has ever faced. The judges are people he has only seen on a screen. Yet here he is. A child carrying not just a song, but the hopes of a family, the struggles of poverty, and a dream born thousands of miles away. Simon leans back in his chair. "Okay," he says calmly, though his tone carries doubt. "Whenever you're ready." The music has not started yet, but the moment already feels heavy with anticipation. The boy closes his eyes for a brief second. In that silence, the audience doesn't see a poor child. They don't see worn shoes. They don't see fear. They see a dreamer standing at the edge of destiny. Somewhere backstage, producers hold their breath. Cameras zoom in. Lights adjust. This is the calm before the storm, the breath before the note, the final second before the world changes. And as the music cue prepares to begin, no one, not Simon Cowell, not the judges, not the millions who will later watch this moment, has any idea that they are about to witness something extraordinary, a voice that will silence doubt, a child who will redefine expectations, a moment that will turn disbelief into wonder. Scene 1 ends here, right before the first note is sung. The first note has not yet been sung. For a moment, the theater is wrapped in a silence so deep it feels unreal. The massive America's Got Talent stage, usually alive with flashing lights and movement, seems to pause, as if the entire building itself is holding its breath. Then the music begins. A soft orchestral introduction rises from the speakers, gentle and restrained. The sound alone feels too heavy for such a small child standing center stage. The young Filipino boy tightens his grip on the microphone, his chest lifts, his eyes open, and then he sings. The sound that emerges is not the voice anyone expected. It is not thin, it is not shaky, it is not childish. It is rich, powerful, and hauntingly mature. The very first note cuts through the air like a blade, filling the auditorium with a depth that instantly commands attention. Gasps ripple through the crowd. A woman in the front row covers her mouth in disbelief. Someone whispers, "No way!" The camera snaps to Simon Cowell. His eyebrows shoot upward. His mouth opens slightly. He leans forward, elbows on the table, eyes locked on the boy. The skepticism that once sat on his face vanishes in a single second. This is not a lucky note. This is training. This is control. This is something rare. The boy continues, his voice rising and falling with effortless precision. Each note is placed carefully, as if guided by instinct rather than technique. His pronunciation is clear, his tone full, resonant, far beyond what any 10-year-old should be capable of. The audience is frozen. People stop breathing, phones lower, time seems to stretch. The child's voice fills every corner of the theater, climbing higher with each phrase. When he reaches the first high note, it soars, strong, unwavering, and breathtaking. There is no strain, no fear, only confidence born from countless lonely hours of practice. The judges glance at one another. One of them shakes their head slowly, smiling in disbelief. Another judge's eyes begin to glisten. Simon doesn't move at all. He simply stares. The boy's small frame stands perfectly still, yet his voice feels enormous. It tells a story of longing, struggle, hope, emotions far too deep for someone his age, yet delivered with heartbreaking sincerity. The music swells. So does the emotion. As the song builds, the boy's confidence grows. His shoulders relax. His grip on the microphone softens. This stage, once terrifying, now feels like home. He closes his eyes as he reaches the most difficult part of the song. A risky note. A note that could break the performance. The audience senses it. The theater holds its breath again. And then, he nails it. Perfect pitch, pure tone, unshakable power. The reaction is instant. Applause bursts out mid-performance, something rarely seen on this stage. Cheers erupt. A few audience members stand to their feet without even realizing it. Simon's expression changes again. This time, it's not surprise, it's respect. As the song moves toward its final section, the boy pours everything into his voice, every sacrifice, every struggle, every dream of lifting his family out of poverty, every moment he listened to opera alone, imagining a future that felt impossible. His voice trembles, not from weakness, but from emotion. Tears form in his eyes, yet his pitch remains flawless. The contrast is overwhelming. A child crying, while singing like a master. The camera captures faces across the theater, a man wiping his eyes, a mother holding her child close, judges blinking rapidly, fighting tears. This is no longer just a performance. This is a moment. The final note approaches. The boy opens his eyes and looks straight ahead, toward the judges, the audience, the world. He takes one final breath and releases the last note. It is long. It is powerful. It is unforgettable. The sound echoes through the theater, and then fades into silence. For half a second, no one reacts. Then, the entire room explodes. A thunderous standing ovation erupts as the audience leaps to their feet. Cheers roar. People scream his name. The applause is deafening. The boy lowers the microphone, stunned. His chest heaves. His eyes widen. He looks around, overwhelmed by the noise, the love, the disbelief. Tears finally spill down his cheeks. He bows shyly. The judges stand too. One by one, Simon Cowell rises last, slowly, deliberately. He claps, not fast, not loud, but with intensity, his eyes fixed on the boy. His face is serious, moved, deeply impressed. When the applause finally begins to settle, Simon speaks. "I did not expect that," he says honestly. "That was extraordinary." The audience cheers again. "For someone your age," Simon continues, "to have that level of control, emotion, and power, it's almost unbelievable." The boy wipes his tears, nodding respectfully. "You didn't just sing opera," Simon says. "You made us feel something." The room falls quiet once more, and somewhere above the stage, unseen by the boy, the golden buzzer waits, silent, glowing faintly, unpressed. Not yet. Because the moment is not over. It is only about to become legendary. Scene 2 ends here, on the edge of a life-changing decision.